Hey, what's up? I'm gonna review some videos of myself reviewing my old videos drawing. More specifically for the previous video of me reviewing my time lapse. Sometimes it feels like I'm having a stroke, you know, where I'm tripping over my words and I'm trying to find the thing to say, but I can't do it. Like my mind just glitches out and it just keeps rereading, or see, I'm doing it right now. So one thing that is really bothering me about the way I talk and the way I'm kind of presenting art, I'm not communicating like a regular person. So a regular person would be able to have a conversation about art and be able to have a back and forth exchange of ideas and discussion if we're speaking in accessible terms, which basically means we're talking like normal people and we're not using such technical terms that even have a slightly different meaning in an art context than we would normally use that word, like out in the real world. Composition, for example, value is another one. Like we can talk about feel, hierarchy. Those terms and a lot of other terms are kind of just like unspokenly bent in their meaning in a specific art context. Those are shortcuts for people to talk about it like a more complicated idea using fewer and fewer words. That's what memes are too, right? I mean, a meme is a really complicated idea, but if you can reference the meme and the other person gets it, well, you've just transferred something that's very multi-layered. I need to do a better job of talking about art like a normal person. So I think I really want to work on doing a better job of communicating art ideas in normal people language. Like I was trying to get any of my friends to understand this stuff. Now, when I talk to my art friends about this stuff, it's really, it is different. You know, sometimes it does get more technical because like we like to go deep. I think there's a difference between just loving to explore depth of something really, really complicated, full of really, really small and subtle properties as art. And at the same time, I think it's totally possible to bring back lessons from that very technical place to the average person or the average learner getting into it, because it's also important that they're receiving that knowledge. It's so hard. I don't think I can even get through this video because I just... Hi, editing James, sorry to interrupt here. I just wanted to reacting to myself of myself drawing. It's kind of interesting watching myself stumble over and get just so frustrated over this simple idea. It's basically me trying to explain why I think it's really important that we need to be able to teach stuff in a simple way. It's this idea that if you truly know something, you should be able to start from surface level knowledge and go deeper, rather than be where you are in your own personal exploration or research, which is probably deep, and to come up with the deep concepts to bring back up to the top. So I think it's more of a feat for someone who truly knows art or whatever. I think that's why this idea is here. I don't think I'm that person, by the way. I'd like to work on being better at that. The idea is that a person, it's more of a feat for someone who has the depth of knowledge to be able to jump from their depth back up to the surface and be able to have in mind both the simple surface level concepts and the deep advanced concepts, and have their practice on the surface level, tried and true fundamentals to get it started, to keep it simple, to keep it going, while having a mind on the bigger, broader picture of just exactly how deep all these ideas can eventually get. I have no idea. A good example of this idea is the test, can you teach it to a 5th grader? And that's the same logic here, where if you really know something, you should be able to bring it to someone who's at square zero, a complete beginner with that idea, and to bring them up to speed, meeting them where they are. So in art, sometimes I think it's so easy to get technical just because myself being in school for so long, I spent so much time in this mindset where it was all about, you know, going deeper. So I was just an art digger, and I just wanted to go deeper and deeper, and so my patterns of thinking and the way that I work and teach just got more and more and more technical, and I realized that that's not working. It's not working not only to how I communicate these ideas, but it also kind of stopped working for me, because in getting so technical, it does take the fun away, and I wasn't, I felt like I was kind of straying from the path of doing art and enjoying art, and that's something I definitely want to rein back a bit. And by keeping things simple and focusing on the fundamentals, and hopefully simplifying complicated art ideas into simple art ideas that are easy to grasp with our minds, because the things that we can understand or think we understand, we also feel confident enough to apply and to use and to experiment and to fail with right away. Because if it's simple and small, it's not that big of a deal, right? I think that's a very healthy learner's mindset to develop in art, and one that I don't have. I'm just really rambling on about a lot of this stuff. One thing I think I really need to do a better job of in the editing is to cut out my rambles, and again, to respect the viewer's time to deliver information that's clear, simple, direct, and short as best as I can. I don't even know if I can get through this video, but my biggest takeaways from watching 2 minutes of myself is that I'm very kind of clumsy with my words when I'm just riffing off of stuff. I'm obviously a lot. I also am a bit too technical in the place that I'm the place where I'm finding my words to explain things. It's a very technical place. It's almost like I'm teaching, like in my head I'm teaching like a post-secondary class or something, and that really not. It might just be that way because I've spent so much time in a post-secondary setting. But ideally, I'd like to just take the technical stuff and simplify it. It is really just a few things I need to be conscious of if I'm drawing for myself. A lot of these other concepts more or less fall into place out of a habit of doing them over and over again, where kind of being conscious of certain art principles lets me focus on the next important thing, to then commit to my memory again, which clears up more space in my head while drawing or making art to focus in on the next important thing that I want to improve and kind of commit to my unconscious muscle memory.
What else do I have to say about that whole experience of watching yourself?
Okay, so the rest of my first reaction to my recording video sounds like that. I messed it up. So my biggest points from this experiment of watching myself draw and watching myself watch myself draw is mainly, for me, it's important that the audio track is flowing and consistent. It should flow and go in the sense that there isn't a lot of dead air, and the editing respects the viewer's time and attention. Equally with that, I would say, is just the way that I talk and explain things. I want to really improve at simplifying, deconstructing, and demystifying a lot of these complicated art concepts, stuff that people maybe are just overthinking in their heads, when in reality, the truth in what you have to do to get to that point yourself is much more simple than it seems. It just takes maybe more hours than you'd think, depending, again, on, your standards and your expectations, and that's a whole different discussion. And this is by no means the end of video training for me. I think I could do this exercise several more times and it would still pay out, on my end at least, in interesting observations, in some lessons I might learn, and it forces me, the act of reviewing that footage and making something of it. It forces me to analyze the footage properly and to make something of it, make something concrete. So it's not just a cloud of emotions and thoughts in my head, but something I'm putting out into words and video. And going back to the simple ideas, complex ideas, knowledge test, whether or not you can keep both extremes in mind, or if you can teach it to a 5th grader, this is the same thing for me, where if I think there's anything important to glean from using technology and video to improve, to switch up, and to experiment, to have more fun with art training, using some basic technology and tools to change the way we do art training, to make it more fun and to see our own work from a different perspective and then to challenge ourselves to make something of it. I've gotten a lot already from just doing one video review. I'm sure that if I keep making more, there's even more to glean from this experience. It's just a matter of not taking it so seriously and letting yourself be natural. What the fuck am I doing? Well, anyway, 10 years into learning art as a slow art learner, I'd have to say the two things that still, to me, make the biggest difference in training would have to be engagement and enjoyment. But we all understand that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you're able to keep drawing. So I definitely think having like knowledge and resources, training and tools, models of analysis for learning art at your disposal is a very useful thing, but it all needs to come from a place where you're making stuff and having fun. I don't know.